just right. I'm Dave. Welcome to David Worrell Trading. We are momentum traders looking for that momentum basing breakouts that we have learned from Kristen Quilamagi, William O'Neill, Oliver Kell, you name it, we have studied them. Today was focused on Stan Weinstein's stage analysis. Shout out to B. Stewie. I brought up to him today about how I think the Stan Weinstein stage analysis, how we usually look at it on a weekly time frame, that with this day and age and the activity of how things are running and how volatile things are, that I personally think they're more on a daily time frame, and we can use those moving averages on a daily time frame to use that stage analysis. And he said, Dave, have you watched the most recent stage analysis video that they just put out? Well, 7 days ago, Richard Moglen on Trader Lion with Stan Weinstein. I listened to it while I was mowing lawn today, and it all came together. It all came together for me. It is true. He is saying all of what I just said is true. And it's just so nice because we all study, and we all know when we start diving into different things, what is the best things to study. What's going on, guys? I am so pumped for you to be here. I see you guys just, all the love in the chat, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. It is my birthday. I am 37 years young today. I had an awesome day today. Ate some dinner at Mom's house. She cooked me my favorite pineapple upside down cake. So shout out to you, Mama. But guys, no further ado, we're gonna get right into it. Let's go. I am pumped for today. Okay. Let's get to the chat really quick. What's up? The Charlotte and Gary Scrappin Show. What's going on, Charlotte and Gary? Good to see ya. The old Beefy Stew is in the building. Your moderator and mine. Thank you so much. Jimmy Bright. What's going on? Happy birthday, Dave. Thank you, Jimmy. Always here, always on time, always kicking ass and taking names. What's going on, Joseph? It is good to see you, brother. Carl Burr and Norman Conklin, two of our finest members of this channel. Thank you guys so much for the birthday wishes. Mama's in the building. What's going on? It's good to see you guys. Yeah. All right. Well, let's just get this party started, shall we? First things first, I got to tell you why I'm a little happy right now. I got a little birthday gift when the Nasdaq opened up here. We see a little pullback, right? Well, technically not a pullback as it is right above still where it closed. But you can see we opened up, the Nasdaq opened up right here at 23,766 just a few hours ago, and we have pulled back here. So it's nice to see this gap up, and now it has filled that gap. Of course, we are extended when we look at this thing on a 10 or a 21-day moving average. You can see we usually ride this 10-day moving average, okay? And this is the overall market, guys. It's very, very intuitive that we understand where we're at in the overall market. You guys know that. So where are we at in the overall market? Well, we are kicking ass and taking names in just a rock throw away from new all-time highs. So I am bullish, but I am not overwhelming myself with taking every gosh darn trade that's out there. I'm only taking the best setups, and that's exactly what we're going to look at today. Market leaders, folks, market leaders. If market leaders, true market leaders, don't get you excited, then you are far from a swing trader. You're more of a gambler. Thank you for that subscription. I appreciate you. And guys, if you have any questions, just throw them in the chat, because I know I have a very specific way now of trading, and if you have any questions about any stocks, we're going to be going over a ton of them very soon. So right here, our market analysis shows that we are very close to new all-time highs. And new all-time highs, you know, I am bullish. I'm bullish when we hit this new all-time high. Bullish when we hit this new all-time high. But, you know, I could go on and on and on. When am I not bullish? When we break below this 21-day moving average. And if you guys were with me here last Sunday, you'll remember that I said we have broken below the 21-day moving average. 90%, if not 100% of my stock trades, because I was only holding 3 or 4 at max, they stopped me out, okay? So we were taking profits on the way up because we have been risk on folks, we have been risk on since back here in this area because we were above the 21, but cautious because we were below the 200. But once these have diverged, and then the 50 does the golden cross above the 200, we were in full bore power trend territory. We have been making a ton of money all the way through this before the breakdown. So 15% of this market's push higher, we were trading, we were taking trades, we were kicking ass, we were taking names, and we were selling into these strengths here. Okay. Then as we pull back, it stops me out of the majority of my trades, like Hood, like Oklo, a few other newer stocks that I had put on, stopped me out. And I told you guys last Sunday that I was risk off and I was only managing. How long did that last? 1 day. And that's why being flexible in the overall market is very, very pinnacle to finding relief, right? You know when you are supposed to be trading, you know when you're supposed to push on the gas. And if you understand those, you're going to have a lot likely, you're going to have a bigger chance of being able to succeed in these markets. And I tell you what, it can be hard sometimes, especially if you're one of those guys that keep their ear to the news and you're hearing all these different tariff stories and all these, the market's getting flooded with this and that and the other thing. There's a lot of fear out there, but we are playing the chart, and right now we are extended from the 10-day, but we are still in a secular bull run, okay? So if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. What's up, my G? My G always says chief. He always calls me the chief. Me, Chief Dave. Me, trade. Yes. Let's see, Gary and Scrap. So if you get a chance, tell me what happened to my TTD stock. Ouch. We will definitely be going over TTD a little later there. It was actually nice to be able to sit around that in the hot sun. I was going to say the campfire, but it felt like we were from a campfire. To be able to talk some stocks with you, Gary, it's always a good time. Be able to sit back, relax, and have a good chat. So guys, let's go over, I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to go over my stocks, my trades, what I have put on after we broke back up above this area. There were a couple of setups that I absolutely just had to take here. And so we're going to go through my focus list. This doesn't have to be your focus list. This is my focus list. And a lot of you will understand and know why it's my focus list. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You'll figure it out. You just got to give it 3 to 5 years before you're going to be a profitable trader, but we can help you with that curve. First trade that I had decided to take, you better believe it, another beautiful basing breakout right here on Hood. You see this thing has been on a secular trend. It's been absolutely the easiest trade for me to hold on to, as I wanted to take it here on this simple basing breakout, but I had missed my opportunity my first time, so we took this basing breakout right here. What's a basing breakout? Every time this price action comes up into this 66.30 area, you can see it gets stuck. There are people selling, but every time it gets sold off, it gets bought back up, forming new higher lows. To me, that's very important. We have a low and a new higher low and another new higher low being put in. It cannot go any lower than this point, and then it could not go any lower than this point. Therefore, this is your third new higher low before we get a volume indication candle shooting us through this basing breakout. We held on to this stock for, you can see, quite some time here. We took off half at 20%. That is where I am selling off into strength. Your first 20% was right here. I actually remember this. Torque, our boy Torque gave me some shit because I sold at 18.2% when we all know I shoot for that 20. But it was right here on a Friday. I wasn't going to hold any longer. Regardless, I sold, I took profits, and that last half, I took the majority off right here into this blow off top candle, and then I sold some more as we pulled back down here. The rest was sold when we closed below a 10-day moving average. Now I gave it some time. We let the market tell us if we want to be in or out of the market. We are above the 21-day moving average, so we got right back in. Some say, well, Dave, why the hell would you just not hold the whole piece? Well, this is 2020, and 2020 is dangerous. We can see the chart in front of us. We had no idea that this was going to continue to hold. We had no idea that it was going to actually continue up over 60% when I was holding it. The best thing I can do is protect and manage my risk and my equity, so that way I do not have large pullbacks and drawdowns. And we can go over P&L curve very, very soon. Yeah, beef is the man. Let's see, Michael, Anthony, good to see you in here. What about PFE since they beat on Tuesday? We can go over PFE as well as TTD once I get through all the good, funky stuff. We'll definitely go through anything that you guys want to. We'll definitely have time today. Google was my other take. Now, what I love about Google is this is a very long basing area. And what I love about this basing area is the last time that we took off here, we actually made money. We've already played this first basing breakout once. If you guys remember with me, we were actually playing a 2x leveraged on this, and we made a little bit of money into this push here, and we sold off, and then the last half we stopped out break even. Why do we have sell rules? So we don't hold through this or not know when to sell through this. We sold, and then we sold the rest at break even. This was a beautiful basing breakout that I would 100% take again, and mark my words, because I sure as hell did. This was an absolutely beautiful basing breakout. As you can see, we're already forming those 3 new higher lows that we need for me to really want to be a part of this. It based out for, looks like a couple of weeks here. I like to see longer bases, but when you look back here, you can add all of this up. This price action here, breaking through 200, holding above it for quite some time before pulling back just below it. We are sitting at 201.42. I took about 100 shares. We're only up about $355 on that, but to be up $355, or in our case, let's just take this, to be up about 2% on a stock that moves 2% in a day, I'm happy with this trade, and I got plenty of room to let this thing work out. I want to get this 10-day moving average above this here, so that's going to be my stop, is below that 10-day moving average. I would like to add into this if it can stay within this area. I'd like to add another 100 shares, but that's nor hearsay. That's just me talking out loud, because honestly, I am horrible at adding into my trades. I'd rather just hold. So right now, we're up about $1,000 on Hood, only holding for 2 days have we held this. And if we look actually in the after hours, you can see we have gapped up to new all-time highs in the pre-market, in the pre-market. So yes, absolutely beautiful take on this. Now, there's a few others on my focus list that I have not taken, but we would love to see these things set up. Greg Greenwich, what's going on, man? I like that name. It's a little hard to say, but I like it. Fort Smith, Arkansas here. What's going on? Yeehaw, baby. BBAI tomorrow, we'll definitely take a look at BBAI. So we'll take a look at every stock that gets posted in here. You just got to bear with me. You got to stick with me. We're going to stay focused on my focus list, and then we'll look at everyone else's focus list. And if we have time, we'll go through all of our sector leaders. We'll get a complete understanding of the overall market. So yes, about $1,000 on Hood. Let's take a look at Reddit now. Now Reddit, you guys know we love earnings here, and when you have a beautiful beat and unexpected earnings like Reddit has had multiple times, we can just look at Reddit right here, RDDT. Look at this box right here. I love the green. Increased sales growth, increased EPS growth. This is what we want to see out of leaders. But the question is, Dave, well, why aren't you in it? Why didn't you buy it? Well, a couple of reasons. One, I can't buy this thing when it's so extended like this. Two, I don't have a base to go off of. Now, I could have played off of this base. As you see, I have it marked here. This could have gapped up into here, and I could have played the base breakthrough. And if you actually looked at this on an intraday time frame, you would see right away that it actually broke through, came back, and retested this area. All plausible times to take this trade, but I was not in front of my computer and I was not comfortable enough with taking this trade. But it was very, very nice. Reddit was just, as the whole market was pulling back and everything was pulling back, Reddit continued to push higher. Now, we've known Reddit, we've had it on our back burner for quite some time, but getting below and staying below that 200-day moving average, it had a lot of proving to do. We've seen a basing area above all moving averages as they started to converge, and then the EPS and sales growth came out and said, yeet skeetily do, hold my beer, we're headed to the north side. And that's exactly what happened here. Let's see. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Now, you don't usually see Microsoft on my focus list, but You cannot ignore the strength in this one. When you see a big ass boat stock like Microsoft not only gapping up, but then holding a beautiful 10-day moving average, I want to know what the heck's going to happen here. You know, there's a lot of high tight flags out there, folks. There's a lot of them out there, you know, and I really think that this is just the start of things. I really do. I think this is a secular bull run that can continue. And my mind will change tomorrow if we go below a 21-day moving average. But for now, I believe in America. I'm 100% looking for those stocks that are going to be the next Microsoft, Nvidias, and Hoods. I'm not going to marry those stocks, but I'm going to take advantage of the momentum in the price action, and I'm going to buy low and I'm going to sell high as long as it has my strategy that's in place. I hope you guys are still with me. What's up, Libby? What's going on? Hey guys, I made it tonight. I'm glad that you did. Jolene, what's going on, girl? It's good to see you. I tell you what, huge shout out to Jolene. Huge shout out. You know, it's great having a community. It's even better when you're comfortable enough to be able to reach out to somebody. As long as you're not, you know, over welcoming your stay. Obviously, we've had that before. But it was so nice. I've been working on something with my psychology. How I really don't feel like I deserve all the gains that I have had. And she reworked my psychology to understanding that it's not me making all this money in the past 3 months. It's me earning all of this simply because I have put in all the damn work. It's finally paying off. You know, I put in so much work and I was making little bits here and there, little chump change here and there, making a lot, giving a little back. But now it's time. Now I've proven to myself, my family, and my followers that we can do it. We can do it. I promise you, if I can do this, a dumb carpenter, right, that came from absolutely nothing, everybody can do this. All you have to do is focus on the liquid leaders. You focus on that volatility. You focus on the EPS and sales growth. Can Slim, William O'Neill. Focus and study. Holy shit, you can do it, I promise. Microsoft, we're going to be focusing. We're going to be watching that 10-day moving average. It's held this whole time. Your risk reward in this is pretty clear if you were to take a bet, okay? Let's actually take a look at the after hours here. It's not really, or pre-market here. It's not really moving just yet, but you know, we'll see what happens in the morning. Meta, another one. I like this. This thing is beautiful, a nice gap up, and it held that whole gap. It's starting to make those new higher lows. I really like to see that. But it's not something I'm really trading right now. I'm just keeping a closer eye on it. Next up is Oklo. Now I did end up getting rid of Oklo because I wanted to just focus on Hood and Google. I had no reason to sell this while it was pulling back in this area. I had a few reasons, but I will say this. I did break my rules on this. I would be out of it today because I was using the 10-day moving average, but I just could not see the sense in holding Oklo as there was other much stronger leaders running, and I rather focus my capital. So I didn't have much in Oklo. It was just a starter position that took off, and I actually just sold this thing out at break even. I was just playing this base right here, and you know, I didn't really, you know, I like the trade, but I wasn't into it, and I can clearly tell because even after this push here, I was, you know, earnings is coming up. So I knew I was going to have to get rid of it soon anyway. Guys, CLS, I know you guys were talking about CLS. Why didn't anybody tell me my mic sounded like shit? Holy cow. You know, there's always something. There's always something. Check out CLS, guys. This is a high tight flag. Beautiful pop-up here. Obviously, to make it a perfect high tight flag, you need about 3 weeks of consolidation. But I pointed this flag out and I pointed the breakout in the Discord if you were with us. And shout out to you if you ended up getting that. There was 2 spots. In my opinion, you have this trend break you could have taken on Thursday or Friday if you were feeling advantageous due to the market's structure. You could have taken this basing breakout at 205. Of course, I still think that this could have some time as it might pull back and, you know, have another inside day or something before we actually take off here. So we'll see what happens with CLS. I like it. I like the numbers. If we look at CLS, we can just run through it really quick. It's electric technology, and if you guys we're aware of the industrial area, the builders, everything like that is doing very, very well right now. So when I look at CLS, I'm looking at this EPS right here, and I'm looking at the sales growth, and I'm going, okay, you know, this thing's got the green light. Also, earnings is out of the way now, and you can see we had 2 surprises. We had an earnings surprise of over 12% and a revenue surprise of over 8%. So that's all really, really good news for this thing. And not only that, but you can tell in our price action, it's a blue skies, baby. There's nothing above this. There's no overhead supply. There's nobody sitting up there with 1 million shares going, when this bitch gets up to 280, I'm gonna sell into those suckers. No, we have a beautiful basing area now right here. It looks like it's getting up above. And if it has continuation and we see that volume coming in, that's gonna be the momentum that we are looking for. This is exactly what we are looking for. Stocks exactly like this. Stocks that follow moving averages, that show relative strength to the overall market, that are showing not only EPS, but sales growth. We want to see price action and volatility. And if we look at the volume on this beautiful thing, the average volume is up over 3.5 million shares every single day. You want to be in those liquid leaders, and this is exactly what a liquid leader looks like. Let's continue, folks. I could talk all day. So we talked about Google. Now, you cannot slow it down. This is a freight train. For a little while there, it was looking a bit stagnant when it was getting stuck in this side, but we are talking about PLTR. Yes, Palantir. This thing can't stop, won't stop, especially when the overall market was having that pullback. Palantir said, oh, hell to the no. No, this thing not only had relative strength to the market, but it did it on volume. Look at the volume on this trade, or in the last few days. As the overall market was pulling back, this was showing higher than average volume almost every single day. People were throwing money at it. So, my G says, CLS, only me and Torqued Up. Beef Stewie with the emotes. Let's go, baby. Let's see, let me catch up. Focus and study. But you spelled it sturdy, so focus and sturdy. Sturdy. Let's see, this week or the next, I think we will test or shake out the 50 on the QQQ and SPY. Let's see. Wow, really? That's a very interesting take. The 50-day moving average, you think? That would be a major pullback. We had Jobby. I wanted to keep an eye on this because it formed a basing breakout. I don't usually play these very fast stocks, but this was an aviation leader. Now, the aviation territory is, you know, still doing well, but Jobby has pulled back and it has broke this little base right here. I'm just going to keep an eye on it because I'll choose certain stocks to keep an eye on, but this is not one that I will be trading. Oracle, you guys have heard me talk about it before. I think one of our members here actually pointed this out to me. It is in that that liquid leaders list, guys, and it's not really forming good bases except for here. It was just too extended for me to take this base. And when it does this stuff in pre-market, I'm usually not there to catch it. You know, my favorite trades are when they open up, they pull back, they get soaked up with a new higher low, and then they get really, really tight under here. And then when they break through, you just know, because on the 5-minute time frame, you see it on the volume. You can absolutely see it on the volume. That 5-minute volume base breaking indicator candle is what you need, and I talk about it quite often. So Oracle, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. I can't trade it. It's too far gone, and I'm not seeing a clear base. I'm seeing some choppiness right here, but I'm not seeing a clear base just yet. RBRK has been stuck sideways. I just want to keep an eye on it because I got a good piece on this. If you guys were with me, I took this simple basing breakout. What I mean by, we identified a long time ago that we weren't seeing any cups with handles. We were only seeing these simple basing breakouts, and every time it would break a previous high, it would just continue to run. So after we identified that, and I'm talking, this was a while ago, guys, 2 months ago, and we were identifying this 2 months previous that all these simple basic breakouts were working out without handles. And sure enough, I took this trade and it was a liquid leader, and I didn't stop out of this thing until somewhere about right here. So, you know, huge gains, but then we just keep an eye on it, because why am I not just going to continue to hold? Why do I have sell rules? Because I don't know if this thing's going to continue higher, and I don't want to have my cash stuck in this for this long. Screw that. I'm out. I'm not married. You know what I mean? I mean, I am. Hey, babe. But not to this stock, right? We also have A-Lab. So if you go through the semiconductors, which we can once we get through everybody's stocks, you're going to find that these semiconductors are being reconstructed. There are leaders that were former laggers. There are laggers that were former leaders. Am I saying that right? I think you catch my drift. And A-Lab was one of those. We identified this way back, but I was saying A-Lab is a lagger. It really needs to get going. It was just stuck in the sideways channel here, folks. But here's the thing. The longer the base, the bigger the boom. And you can see that's exactly what happened here. After it broke this base, I called it out in chat. It wasn't one for me to take. I was actually holding SMCI, which happened to be a decent trade. I didn't play it nearly as well as I should have, but A-Lab just took the cake here, because not only if you were able to get into this according to my rules, let's say you bought it up here, right? And you were to hold on to this thing, you would be out half of your shares at 20%. So you would have got in around, let's see, 105. You would have gotten half of your shares out at about 125, so $20 on every share that you bought. And then because you have this cushion, because you bought it here, you have this 20% cushion, you would have been able to hold through earnings. I usually will only hold a very, very small portion through earnings, but if you like to do that, a lot of times I'll sell it all, because I still feel like it's a gamble. It doesn't matter, you know, what you think or what the analysts think about a company. If you don't hit your earnings this season, like you're tumbling. Like basically all earnings season this is like, you better get through earnings and you better have green on your earnings ticket, because if not, these stocks have been falling off the face of the freaking earth. So be careful with what you're playing with out there, and be very careful, because we still have a few earnings out there coming up. We also have IREN. Now, you guys remember I was a huge fan of this. I called this out in the chat when we had this breakout right here, and I couldn't believe it, man. I was like, oh, this was absolutely perfect. You could see it on the 5-minute time frame. I would 100% take this exact same trade 1,000 times over, because I've been here. I've done this. I've taken this trade, and 90% of the time, they work out huge in my favor. This one, not so much. Not only did it hit a euphoric high at 21.50, but it pulled all the way back. And my selling rules, according to William O'Neill, How to Make Money in Stocks, is that if you play a momentum trade, a basing breakout to the north side, and it gets sold right back off into your buy area, you sell half. You sell half. There's no point in holding on to a stock that just got sold, that got slammed back down. That's showing a lot of supply. You need to give it more time to work out, and that's exactly what I did. I sold that half, and if I remember right, I sold that last half, closing below the 10-day moving average, really almost getting a break-even trade on this. I'm sure I lost maybe a couple $100, but damn near a break-even trade on this. Well, what happens? It pulls back much, much further, and now has slammed right back up into that basing area. What happens when there is nobody left to sell in this area? If they have sold and they continue to sell and it's still making a new higher low here, then it's a good sign for the overall stock. Now, I don't know too much about IREN, and we could do a little bit of a deeper dive before we look into the stocks that you guys have listed. But if we look at IREN, you can see here, we do have EPS and sales growth. That's what we want to see. This is in the technology data processing services. So we know that this is in the AI realm. They need those data services. They're very, very popular right now. So with EPS, sales growth, and the highest volume ever received on the day that I took this trade, trade. You can see the pullback is on lighter volume and the push back up through here is on higher volume. So we are seeing, yes, there is a big seller up here through these 20s, but if it can break through and there is no more sellers left in that area, then it's blue skies, baby, and we're gonna make some money. Right here is your basing breakout. Once again, you could argue that it is above that basing breakout, but because it is extended from that 10-day, best case scenario here, folks, is that this thing is just going to trade and get tighter. See where my toolbar is. Where the hell is it? There it goes. Maybe it does something like this and gets really tight before taking off. That's my best case scenario in this situation, okay? That's what I think. Those are my thoughts, not yours. Hope you're enjoying yourself. If you are, please leave a like and a subscribe. We are here every damn Sunday bringing you the absolute best focus list, the liquid leaders in the hottest sectors, and I'm doing all of this for free. Of course, if you want to contribute, if you want to donate, you can become a member. It's very, very cheap. I think it's like $5 a month. And then of course we have another one. I made a much more expensive one, but that gets you, that unlocks you a whole new level of things. And of course, there is mentorships. If you would like, you can email me. It's in the description down below. We do mentorships on the side. I can give you a strategy that I use. And if you can make it work for yourself, you can have all the questions ready for me and we will take good care of you. Let's continue on. Now, I put Tesla on my focus list, and you know, I probably wouldn't have done this if I didn't get reached out or if people weren't asking about Tesla so much, but it's kind of hard not to like this as a trader or as a technical analysis, right? Like a trend trader or a market analysis trader, whatever the hell you want to call yourself, or a momentum trader, because this thing, when it gets momentum, it goes, right? Look at it, new higher lows. Look at these new higher lows. It's above all of its moving averages. You know, I remember I was looking at it here. You know, and it looked good and it pulled back. This is what I don't like. See this low, how it broke this previous low? I didn't like that one bit. I actually thought that this would be a great spot to short, but that's why I don't play Tesla, because I've been hurt by Tesla multiple times. Now, if we look at Tesla and we look at this here, you can see it is gapping up. It is gapping up in the after hours. So we're up quite a few shekels here. And you can see that this thing wants to go. I really like this 336 area. I think if it breaks out above this on volume, we can really see some momentum to push it. We do have overhead resistance, but you know, Tesla's just not my thing, guys. If we look at the EPS and sales growth, and this is why, this is the only reason why I believe in Tesla. I think, you know, eventually it's going to be a great company, blah, 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 but, or it is a great company, whatever. But look at the EPS and sales growth here. I don't like that. That's red, you know, and they're losing business in a lot of different countries. You know, it's like he grew too big too fast. I don't know. I don't really know. I just look at this chart and I say, I like the chart. I like the chart. I don't like the numbers, but I like the chart. I like to see what it's doing. Am I going to play it? Probably not. I think there's much better stuff out there, but this, it's something I want to focus on. It's something I want to keep an eye on. I want to know what's going on with Tesla. And then of course there's APP. Now I can't trade APP, and I've tried to play APP many times before, but this thing is a turd of a stock sometimes to me. But this thing just had another one of those simple basing breakouts that had no handle. Just broke right on through. Why? Earnings. Earnings is another huge pusher. It's going to move this market one way or the other. Beef Stewie says, I suck at spelling. Spelling can be a creative process here. Yeah, you better believe it, Jolene. We all are pretty interesting. You know, I even use talk to text. Like if I'm in the Discord, I'll use talk to text while I'm at work, and it's horrible. It's horrible. You guys are like, gotta be reading some of the shit I say. Like, what is this? what is this dude doing? Especially you're trying to like say a ticker symbol and you're like HOOD, and then like the way it comes up with weird commas and anyway. I digress. Yes, it does suck. It's more of a long play in my opinion, Libby says, for Tesla. Yeah, I would have to agree. It's more of it's more of a long-term play, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a long-term play. Okay, guys, well, let's get into the stocks. So this is my focus list. If we have time, we'll go through all the sectors and I'll take you through all the boring stuff, what I keep up on and all that stuff. But, we all need a focus list. And if you focus, I feel if you focus on this list that I have for you right in front of your face that we just went through, if you just focus on just those and don't let any of the noise in, focus on the market, focus on those, I think each and every one of you are going to find a stock that you will be able to trade properly within there, okay? And that's just my thoughts. Maybe those suck and I should just cancel my show. Anyway, let's go through some of the stocks that you guys brought up here. So let's make sure we got all of them. Oh, my G, I see you out here. Good list. Let's see, fortunate to be in front of my screen. Okay, that's what you're holding? So you got PLTR, NVIDIA, CRDO, Hood, AMD, Rocket Lab, Iron, and CC. You're holding a lot of stocks, my dude. That's a lot. That's a lot. The way I trade, if you're holding 6 to 8 stocks, then you have over $500,000 in your trading account. And I don't doubt it, sir, because I have chatted with you quite some time and you seem awfully smart. So let's get into some of these. So Gary brought up TTD, and this is one we were talking about before. And when we look at this stuff, and and I know Gary, I don't want to piss Gary off, but I am very transparent in this, very, very transparent when it comes to these charts. So I'm just going to tell you what I see with TTD, and right off the get, if anyone's trading TTD, the only time, in my opinion, that you should have been trading this is throughout this area, right? Because this is above a 200-day moving average, right? And would I trade this? Probably not, but it does move 5.7% now because of how these big jumps, right? This is a big, slow-moving stock. Now, TTD, Trade Desk, a lot of people use that. I'm pretty sure my wife is using that still to this day. But what has happened here? This thing fell off the face of the earth. Why? Earnings, right? After earnings, this thing fell off the face of the earth. And a lot of people come in here and they think, well, it was 120, and I actually just heard William O'Neill go over this. Last night I was listening to some of the 18 most common mistakes that investors make or traders make, and it's basically trying to catch a falling knife like this. But when you see something like this, you can note that it's here and then watch how it trades, but you need to wait for new higher lows, right? Just like this. It gets above a 200-day moving average, but we don't just buy it. We wait for 3 new higher lows. We didn't get it here. We didn't get it here. We didn't get it here. And then after this, you have your 3 new higher lows. 1, 2, and you can consider this a base to play, right? This just fell off the face of the earth. And what happened here, you brought that up. The CEO resigned. So what happens when you have a chart that's broken, you're losing money, and then your CEO resigns? That's screaming to your investors that there is uncertainty abroad, right? And if you can't get above that 200-day moving average and you fail something like that, that shows that there's a lot of issues in the company. Now, does that mean that TTD is going to fail? No, that doesn't mean TTD is going to fail. That means the stock is in turmoil and they need to do something new. They're going to need new management, they're going to need new products, and they're going to have a new way to structure their foundation in order for them to turn around. Now, can they? Absolutely they can. Are they too big to fail? I don't know. But what I will say is this. When we see a stock that's well below a 200-day moving average, I am hands off. I am staying way the hell away because I want to put my money where I can make the most money. So if this is your kind of trade, this is more of a dollar cost average in if you believe in it, but don't put more than, 5% of your equity. And that's just my thoughts. They're not yours. It's not any way that you should trade it because I don't do long-term investing unless it's in with mutual funds or ETFs. So, but yes, TTD, definitely something to watch in the future, but not right now. It's got a lot of proven to do. What else do we have in here, guys? What else do we have in here? I know you guys threw some more in there. All right, we got TTD. Michael says PFE, so that is an energy stock. I know energy is doing very well right now, but PFE, oh, I'm sorry, I was thinking of PBF. No, this is PFE. So this is your healthcare stock, right? So Pfizer, they're the one that came out with all the shots and yada, yada, yada. And you can see they did really, really well. And then after they broke below this 200-day moving average, they didn't see the life of day until about right here. And now they broke down even further. And now they are continuing down here. So if we look at PFE, just plain and simple, and we just draw a line from top to the last high, you can see this is a huge downtrend. This stock has a lot of proving to do. Now, I will say it's got these 3 new higher lows, but we have a downtrending 200-day moving average. For me, even if earnings are over, this is more of a short, in my opinion, than it is a long. Now, you get back above this 200-day moving average, you're starting to show volume, 3 new higher lows, and then some momentum after a base, and then I'm all in it to win it, baby. Let's go Pfizer. But right now, this thing is a piece of shit, and I want to stay very, very clear of it. Oh, BBAI. All right, so this is for my dudes out there, Greg Greenwich. Greg Greenwich, if you're still with us, let me know. Give me a shout, bro. And here's some love right back here for you guys. Let me ask you guys a question before we go on to BBAI. Here, I'll throw it up here. BBAI. Let's see. Let's start a poll here. Pick a stock. Pick a stock. We'll do Meta, MSoft, we'll go BBAI, and we'll go A-Lab. Yeah, we're gonna get, we won't do Meta, we'll go Hood. All right, let me know. If you had to pick one, you only can pick one. We're gonna go over BBAI right now, and yes, this is what I like to see. So if you've trained your eye, to look for momentum leaders, you'll see something like this, right? The issue with this is this didn't form a newer higher low. So it formed a new lower low. It means it's lower than this low, and it's not forming that new higher low. This one did. So for me, that is one new higher low. Biggest issue I see with BBAI, earnings. That is tomorrow, folks. And that is after the market tomorrow. So if you have shares in BBAI, you need to take heed. You can see multiple times this thing shoots right on up and slams down. Shoots up, slams down. That's what we call a pump and dump. Now, this has pumped and it does look like it is holding. It is trying to follow some moving averages, but it keeps wicking through them. So for me personally, I'm kind of hands off on BBAI, especially because earnings is tomorrow. So I don't gamble with earnings. I definitely, it's definitely one to watch. I have it on my watch list in my sector leaders, but BBAI definitely can move the needle. It moves 8.3%, so it's one of those rip your face off, blow your panties off kind of stocks. You need to be careful with these, especially on earnings. This thing, good or bad news, could make this go either way. So, but I do like BBAI, definitely like that. Let's see here. Does stock give you KO choice? Let's see. I agree, Chief. Lots of stocks, but all free rolled. Yes, I like that. Okay, so Guy does this, my G, JFA in the chat. He does these free rolls. It was coined by Mark Minervini. It's where you get into a stock and then you sell your portion for your risk. So that way you can bring your stop either up to break even, or if your stock is to go back down to where your original stop was, you break out for break even. So there's free rolling a stock basically. You get in, it's a momentum push, you take out enough shares to give yourself leeway and room to continue to play the stock, and then it is therefore a free roll stock. And then the last portion can make you a lot of money. A lot of those free roll stocks, sometimes you'll stop out really quick on them, but if you can grab those free roll stocks, it is just so delightful to be able to sit back and know that your money's working for you and you have no more risk in that trade. So it's a really good psychology buffer. So shout out to you, my G. I like that you have all of those. Jolene says to take a look at the weekly time frame. Wow, okay. Okay, time to step back and take a look at the big picture here, huh? Why don't we look at the yearly time? Let's go monthly. Let's go year. No, I'm only kidding. This thing is looking good. Look at that. Inside day, right? Inside day. This thing is just getting tighter and tighter here. Yeah, I agree. It looks really, really good. You know what I like the most is this basing breakout, right? If we look at this stock, the very first thing I pick up on is this basing breakout. And you guys can see I've already marked this out before, and I'm not sure if we played this or not. And I think the reason why I didn't is because when it did break this base, I would have said, well, that's too extended, and I'd want to see a handle here, you know? But obviously, every single time, it's just, there's no handles on these damn stocks. They just rip, tater chip, rip, tater chip, baby, right on through. And it's what's been going on. So, you know, you gotta hold your breath sometimes and go with it. But yes, that weekly time frame looks absolutely phenomenal, really, following that 10-day on that weekly time frame. But earnings, guys, earnings tomorrow is after the bell. You know, if I didn't have a life, I would seriously stream for you guys 24/7 so that we could just come to this one place, always get the news, always get everything. But that's a future goal of mine. We're gonna stick with this. We're gonna keep doing the show every Sunday, and then we're gonna go big. I'll probably have full bed of gray hair, but I'm telling you, in like 5-10 years, multi-millionaire, still doing this silly show. It's gonna be awesome though. It's gonna be awesome. All right, let's see what you guys got. I said pick a stock. 67% said Hood. I'd have to say that's a good, that's a damn good pick. That's a damn good pick, guys. Look at that basing breakout. Look at this basing breakout right here. Look at this beautiful basing breakout. Look at this beautiful basing breakout. Oh my gosh, yes, and this was actually a cup with handle too, actually. And since we're bringing up weekly time frames, let's take a look at this weekly time frame. Ooh, that kind of looks scary, right? This kind of looks scary. You know, this is why you have to look at this weekly time frame. This thing is just going straight up, right? We had a pullback, sure, and it got bought right back up. Sure, it's very, very strong, but it sure is extended from that 10-day. You know what I mean? Like the last time we had a meaningful pullback off of this, we were extended 23%. And currently off of the top wick, we are extended that 23%. So just how high can we go before we pull back? You guys, I have something. Oh, when is Wednesdays coming back? You know, Libby, that's a good question. My kids just started football. So baseball ended, football started. You know, I think what I should do is start doing videos and releasing them on Wednesday, doing some readings of the books and stuff. But I'm glad you asked for that. I'm glad you asked for that. GLXY, we can go over GLXY. Let's get off this weekly time frame. Let's go on the daily. Let's take a look at GLXY. And I got a few comparisons I want to show you guys today. We're going to go over Reddit compared to eBay and Bull compared to Hood. Okay, and I have some very, very, very close matches here. So history doesn't always repeat itself, but sometimes it rhymes, that kind of deal, right? So we're gonna take a look and compare these stocks, but let's take a look at GLXY really quick. So this is brought to you by your boy Yosef, a trusted member in our Discord community and a longtime active user in this YouTube. So thank you for being with us, Yosef. And also Galaxy, yes, he knows what I like to see. Oh yeah, baby. So if we look at Galaxy, I am going to zoom out on the weekly time frame just so we get a better idea. We can digest this whole picture here. Huge moves up, pulls back, and now it starts creating new higher lows on this weekly time frame. Looking extended, just like we pointed out on Hood, it's kind of extended. It is extended from the 10-day. You can see when it does get extended from the 10-day, it comes back down and it reanimates itself off the 10 weekly moving average. You can see it is a little extended here, and it has this peak that last time it was up in this $35 area. It definitely could find some resistance in that 35 area, but this Galaxy is looking good. You can't argue with that. The earnings have already came out. It looks like it held its ground during that earnings. So that is a good sign. It's definitely one to keep on your watch list. Let's actually see what Galaxy Digital is, because this is my first time hearing it. Oh, this is in the finance. So finance, banker, and brokers. If we look at this, we have some EPS and sales growth, not a lot to really note on. So they must have business and something. But look at the volume coming in here. So unless they had like a ton of stock splits or something, they have way more volume for whatever reason. But yeah, okay, I see why you like this now. When I zoom out here, you know, huge, this isn't a William O'Neill's cup and handle, but it's a huge cup here, and we're forming a bit of a handle here. And I like this pattern. I like what you're seeing here now, brother. And it looks like we had a fake breakout on this day, but it still held a new higher low from its earnings low. You have good risk reward here. If you were to use that earnings low as a risk, you know, this thing moves 9.84%. Be careful with this stock. This thing can really, really move. Let's just see what the percentage risk would be. So you got 7.8%. If you were to buy it right now at $27.78, you are still within the average daily range of its EPS low, or its earnings and sales low. So that's a really good risk reward there. And you know, I don't care how you trade. I don't care what you do. But if you have proper risk reward, you're going to survive in this damn market, folks. So I like Galaxy. Oh, bam! Stamp of approval. Not that you need my stamp of approval, Joseph, but you got it anyway, baby. Let's go. All right, Joseph, Bitcoin play. Yeah, you ain't kidding, brother. Yeah, Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin, folks, because it is ready. This thing is ready. Take a look at Bitcoin. This was my best case scenario I drew out for you guys last week. And look, it started to come into fruition, but does the market give a shit about my best case scenario? Absolutely not. This thing in the pre-market busted right through the all-time high, the anchored VWAP from all-time high. It is now through there and bucking right into that $120,000 resistance area. Bitcoin is an exceptional area that you guys need to keep on. Now, do I think it's gonna break right on through? No, I don't, but would it surprise me? Hell to the no. It would not surprise me at all, because we have seen a lot of these cups without handles. Now, I would still like to see this thing trade sideways, continue to form a base, so that way it can still, you know, get really, really tight, yada, yada, yada. You guys know how I talk, but if this thing breaks on through, you know, I'd like to be a part of it. I'd much rather wait for this to get a little tighter and form another little base here at that 120, forming new higher lows. But yes, it definitely could go. That's a good play there for Bitcoin. METC. Let's take a look at METC. Joseph, are you saying for Bitcoin, or are you just saying like to talk about Bitcoin, or was you, oh, Galaxy for a Bitcoin play? Oh, I see. Okay, so I didn't realize that Galaxy, GLXY, was actually a play on Bitcoin. So they must have to do with, yeah, so they're gonna have to do with digital coins, right? And digital assets and data center infrastructure delivery solutions. That is a really, really good, thank you so much for bringing that up, Joseph. Let's see, has it gapped up? Let's take a look at Galaxy on the intraday, and it does look like it's starting to move up in the pre-market or the aftermarket, whatever the hell you want to call this time zone. Is it still aftermarket? Now is it pre-market? You know what I mean? Like, the hell do we call this time frame? Galaxy is looking really good, and you know what? I'm gonna put this on my Bitcoin, my crypto watch. Thank you so much for bringing that. Always bringing us the good stocks and some of the best news in our Discord. Thank you so much for being a big part of this. RGTI, well, first let's go over Jolene's METU, was it? Oh no, METC, I got you, girl. Ramco Resources. The very first thing I see here is the EPS and sales growth. Absolutely dog doo-doo, Jolene. I mean, you know, I'm gonna start with that. And then we'll carry on. EPS and sales growth looks like absolute shit. It's something that you need to be careful with. Just know what you're trading, right? Know that you're in a stock that moves 10.96%. This is a rip your face off. Panties gone, they gone, okay? So be careful, METC. This can rip your damn face off, but look at that beautiful, beautiful flag. Look at that. And not only that, but it's undercut all this. Now I like to see an undercut and rally within a day, not a week's trading, but it undercut all this and then it popped right back up in its trading area. And look at this beautiful base. Look at that beautiful base. 2350 would be close to that buying area. This is in the energy minerals. It's actually coal, you know, and coal is probably the least use resource out there right now, but if you start to see some of the laggers in the energy areas are starting to pop up. You're starting to see some solar pop up. You're starting to see some other things pop up. And right here, you're starting to see some of this coal popping up. Now, the EPS and sales growth, to me, this is more of a, you know, but look at this. If we zoom all the way out too, it just makes it look better, you know? That's why sometimes you just don't argue with price action. If we mark all these tops, the majority of the tops here, it is above the majority of all of those tops. So this is a really nice spot, Jolene, and I really appreciate you bringing this up. It's definitely not one that I'm gonna play. I'm not gonna play this just because of the declining EPS and sales growth. To me, that's what needs to drive it. But if we're only looking this on a technical time frame, METC is a go, baby. I mean, just make sure you got proper risk management, because you could get into this thing. Let's say you got in it right now as we spoke at 22.40, right? You get in right here, and this thing can drop 10.96% in a day. So this thing, you go, well, you know, it doesn't seem like that big of that crazy of a deal, but you know, $3-4, you know, in one day. Just make sure you have your risk set properly, right? $3-4 in one day. You know, you don't want to buy 100 stocks and then, oh shit, I'm down $400. You know what I mean? So be very careful. B. Stewie has put my link tree right there for you in the chat. When you click on it, it's going to pop up something like this. You want to find me on Twitter right there, bada bing, bada boom. You want to use TradingView just like I do. Click TradingView. You can download it for absolutely $0. But if you decide to buy the essential plan like I'm using today, it gives you a bunch of extra stuff. I get a little bit of a kickback for that, so I appreciate you using my link. Also, you can find me on Snapchat. I haven't been using it a lot the past couple weeks. I've been trying to stay focused, but if you want to find me and link with me on there, more than welcome to. So thank you for posting that. The beefiest of stews. What the? Maybe I should take a sip. Well. Oh, look who has entered the building. Zing, zing. It's torqued up. What's going on? Yeah, he's in the Arctic. He's an Eskimo. You know what they say about once you go Eskimo? I'm not gonna finish it. This is family friendly, but you guys can imagine. All right, let's take a look at RGTI. If you guys remember, we called this trend breakout in the chat. Of course, I don't like the sales growth. The EPS growth is nice. I didn't take this trade because this is not my type of stock. I like to see EPS and sales growth. But of course, we were watching RGTI as it is a 99 relative strength rating compared to the overall market leaders, and the average daily range is about 8%. After it broke this trend here, you can see yeet skeetily do. This thing ripped much, much higher on that trend breakout. It moved in one day 28.54%, pulling back, digesting those gains, creating new higher lows. Now look what is formed once again, another trend. Excuse my stutter, but if this thing starts to break out, we're gonna make some money. All right, so keep an eye on this, new higher lows being formed. If it breaks out on higher volume, you can still find a good area for risk management on this stock. I still like RGTI, but I don't like the sales growth on it. So we'll see what happens with RGTI. I think this was the proper buy area right here on this trend, and then to shave a little bit off into that 20% like you guys know I do, and then you bring your stop up to break even. You'd still be in this trade. This would have been hard to hold on to because it closed below these moving averages. I would have been out right here. I would have been out right here and just always protecting, because I can always buy it back, right? I can always buy it back. So that's just one of them. Loke Doc, what up, man? Got me NA Black Butt, an NA Black Butt Porter in a live Sunday show to boot. That sounds delicious. I had a Busch Light the other day. I don't drink very often, but I tell you what, a good ice cold Bud Light Lime, don't judge me, bear with me here, an ice cold Bud Light Lime in a glass bottle sounds refreshing. That sounds refreshing right now. But yes, back to RGTI. I'm telling you, dude, I'm telling you, this thing was a beautiful call out. I'm glad that we were here for it. Also, we used the point of control and we use anchored VWAP from all-time high. When all of those diverge into an area that gets tight and it breaks higher, it comes back down and retests that same area. I mean, it was a go. I mean, it was a, you know, a double whammy in some sense. So I really like it, you know. My G says UEC, interesting. Not at this moment, but seems it went on to rock the nuclear sector. Not good EPS or sales growth, but yeah. Let's take a look at it. Oh, it's non-alcoholic? Just there for the taste, huh? Let's take a look at UEC. I've had some Rolling Rock non-alcoholic beverages before, and they are very, very good. I can agree with you on that. UEC, yeah, look at this thing. So this thing is just really taken off. If we zoom way out here, let me fix this chart. We zoom way out here, you can see the basing topped area was right here at this 844. And you can see it came right up into that area, tested, pulled back, tested, you know, retesting in this area. It's continuing to go higher, but yeah, like you said, my G, I don't trust the EPS and sales growth on this, but it is uranium. So it's in that nuclear sector, and it did come out of left field. Another one of those was UUUU. Did I put enough U's in there? No, I don't think this is it. Maybe we'll do 8 U's. 10 U's. It's 10 U's. There you go. No, I don't think this is the right UUUU. Maybe it is 10 U's to get uranium. Damn. WLGS. WLGS. What's going on, Dirk? Dergek. I wish I could say it right. Oh. All right, so I'm going to tell you right now, when I bring this up, and I hope you're not kidding with me, when I bring this up here, you can see this thing just fell off the face of the earth. Here's the 200-day moving average. This is where this stock is. I'm not even going to zoom in on this. The RS rating is 1%. This isn't something you want to look at. These cheap stocks like this, you're not going to make any money trying to long these things. I can zoom in here for you to try and, you know, but I don't know how. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about this except for this is not a stock I want to look at. It's just not, because there's no price action here, WLGS. And, you know, I'll try and show you why, folks. Like, if we look at this and we want to try and find a trend on this, here's your daily time frame. Look at the trend. We'll go from peak, you know, down to here. I mean, it's a very, very clear trend. This is not something that you want to look at or be a part of. It looks like it's close to delisting. It's down to 3 cents a share. Sure, you can load up on it, but what happens when it delists? What happens when it goes lower? You know, you might think you're getting proper risk reward down here, but you're not. You really aren't. I mean, best of luck to you on that stock. I'd much rather you be looking at something on my focus list. Like, look at a Reddit. Look at that trend. Look at Hood. Look at the trend on Hood. Look at Microsoft. Look at that trend on Microsoft. And you might be telling yourself, but Dave, I can't afford these. Well, that's okay. You buy the 2x leverage. But just know what you're playing and how to use those as risk, okay? But I don't like WLGS. I'm sorry, brother. And I really hope I can talk some sense into you. I know those penny stocks. I know how you want to trade those, but they're shit stocks, and you're going to lose money. You're going to lose money trading those damn things. Let's see. HWM. Yeah, for sure. Let's take a look at HWM, guys, for sure. HWM, baby. This thing's absolutely phenomenal. This thing has been a leader in aerospace from the start. I know we had a few other ones out there that were looking good, but when it came to leaders in aerospace, HWM and GE were our 2 leaders in aerospace. And you can see right here, it's squatting down now on that 50-day moving average. You want to talk about a market leader, this thing has been absolutely kicking ass and taking names since we've gotten liberated. It touched the 200-day moving average, and then it ripped tater chip to the north side. We have not seen this thing come back and retest that 50-day moving average since. And here we are now. EPS and sales growth out of the way, as they had both surprise visits from earnings and revenue. So that's nice. We see EPS and sales growth on this. So yes, still a beautiful and liquid leader, although it's a slower mover at 2.3% average daily range. This is definitely one that you want to keep on your watch list, because if HWM and the likes of GE start to fail, you're going to see things like Joby, like what are some of our other aerospace? Let me look up some aerospace names really for you guys. So Joby, Archer, let's see, KTOS. Actually, KTOS is kicking ass. Holy shit. Look at this basing breakout. I like this one right here too, guys. Yeah, I missed that one. So KTOS has a beautiful, and Rocket Lab's definitely one to watch. Look at that trend breakout too with these 3 new higher lows. I mean, there's so much out there. Holy shit, guys. There's so much out there. And I am pumped. I'm all about this bull run. I'm all about it, baby. I hope you guys are with me for it. Come on, let's go. Let's see, Beef Stewie with the rip tater chip emote. How you doing over there, Carly? I tell you what, I wish I could show you. It's so cool. It's so cool. I can't show you though. I'll end up breaking something. We got our own little cubicles. I got my wife in here. We got our own little cubicles, our own little offices. I like it. She's throwing stuff at me. All right, let's see what we got. CBRE. Let's take a look at it. CBRE. And I'm just over here hollering. Oh yeah, that's what we like to see, folks. Just with the likes of Meta, like Microsoft, CBRE is setting up absolutely beautiful. Who just told me this? Oh, of course it's Torqued. Torque's always bringing some heat, baby. Look at this CBRE. It's been leading for quite some time now. You can see all the moving averages has already converged, and you can, or diverge, and you can see a beautiful high tight flag up here. Yes, I use that name loosely, or I use that saying loosely because this isn't a true high tight flag, but this is a flagging area with 1 new higher low. You can consider this the 3rd new higher low. If it breaks out tomorrow on volume, this would be a significant name to keep an eye on. Let's take a look, CBRE. And this is in finance as well. This is also in finance, so very, very interesting. Love to see it. You know what, guys? We're running late. We'll go through. CBRE is oh man, that is a really nice looking stock too. I'm gonna have to put this, give me 1 second, guys. I gotta put this on my watch list. CBRE, that's nice because I don't have a finance stock. I mean, I'm in Hood, but I need to keep an eye on that one. So very, very nice look on that. I'm not even rushing it. We're doing this. GD. Oh my gosh, Torque. Let's freaking go, dude. That's a cup with handle. Oh, that thing only moves 1.4%, dude. Don't get me excited like that, bro. Like, this is a beautiful trade. Like, this is what you want. But then you throw $1,000 into it and your grandma falls asleep. You know what I mean? Like, this thing, I mean, you could make some money and it probably pick up after it breaks out right here, which I certainly hope it does. But man, that thing is slow, dude. Come on. Like, here, let's get Dave all excited for nothing. MEDP, nice earnings flags I'm watching. Okay. Yes, this is very nice too. I mean, this is telling a story. This thing rips up on earnings right here, okay? Rips up on earnings. Absolutely. Just look at this gain right here. Huge rip up, gets as high as 57% and holds the majority of those gains. And only pulls back, so moves up over 54%, pulls back only 20% of that 54%. And now look, it's riding that 10-day moving average and getting very, very tight. I really like this one too. Let's dive a little bit deeper. MEDP here, I'm probably medical, right? Let's see, miscellaneous commercial services. Let's read about it just for a quick second here. Engages in provisions of outsourced clinical development services to the biotechnology, pharmaceuticals, and medical device industries. So not in the hottest sector right now, although we have starting to see some things pop up like MEDP. And look at the EPS and sales growth too. So we're talking about a biotech service, development service, right? So they're not waiting on FDA approvals and all that bullshit. They're a service to biotech and pharmaceuticals and the medical device industries. So they don't have to worry about FDA approvals and all that bullshit. They're not waiting for, the stock to drop. So I like that it is in that sector, but yet it has a lot less potential risk with some kind of like FDA approvals coming out that'll completely ruin, their drug. So it's not a drug stock, which is nice. It's commercial services. And if you look at commercial services, which is XLC, you can see commercial services as a whole, as a sector, is getting ready to yeet skeetily due to the north side. So if this thing rip tater chips, you better believe that MEDP is going to take off to the north side with it. So thank you so much for bringing that stock up to me. MEDP, I got to put this on my health and technology stocks. Do I even have them? Where are they? All right, so MEDP. And if you like MEDP, keep an eye on HNGE if you don't already, Torque. So throw that one on there. You retracted it. Grey Grinch, I was just going to get to that stock. I think you put in prom, was it? I hope you didn't put in prom. I'm going to figure it out, dude. Pro Kidney. Let's see, last one, INCY. Did you want me to look at Greg Greenwich? Did you want me to look at Ethereum? Is that what that was? I don't even know. I've never, I don't even really like look it up. We'll just go Coinbase off the dollar. But yeah, if we look at crypto, if we look at like XRP, Ethereum, you know, all of those, they're going to be up. And the reason is because Bitcoin is up. Now, Ethereum being the lagger that it was, has moved up much faster while Bitcoin has been trading sideways. But don't forget who your leader is, and that is going to be Bitcoin. Yes, Ethereum has broken out. It's now extended off that 10-day moving average, but it had a nice little basing breakout here, looking very good. Makes you want to slide on over to Bitcoin as we are breaking out in Bitcoin. We are over 120,000 now. Well, I shouldn't say breaking out, but we're definitely above the basing breakout area. Is that going to have enough to have continuation where we can consider this it breaking out and not a false breakout? We will only know tomorrow. So it's looking really, really good. That Galaxy trade, my dude, Yosef, that's definitely one to keep an eye on. So thank you for that. SoFi, we got to see INCY. Yes, another beautiful looking mover. Only moves 2.5%. So Torque, coffee is on you tomorrow for giving me 2 shit stocks. But, you know, creamer's on me for giving me 2 awesome stocks. But I'm not messing with this 2.5%. No way, no how, dude. But yeah, it definitely has potential. I really like how it's broken out of this topping area right here. And you know, earnings is already set aside. They had a nice pop on earnings, broke through this base, and now is just forming new higher lows. So yeah, this thing can definitely get going, but 2.5%, that's really slow, especially when we have all of this overhead resistance still above it. So zoom out, take a look at that. Tell me what you think about that, Torque. Like, if we look at the weekly time frame, like, sure, it looks great, but it's got this area that it's going to get through. And then if it finally gets through this area, then it's got, you know, the next overhead area to get through, which I would consider, you know, this a pretty heavy area to get through. So, you know, it's definitely not my favorite stock. It moves too slow, and it's still, to me, got a lot of proven to do. So it definitely could be the best trade of your life, but it's just not my, I don't think it's going to have the momentum that I want to deserve my attention. SoFi, let's take a look at SoFi. I know SoFi's been kicking ass and taking, and look at this. Look at this. It's got that hood candle on it, you know, where it just reaches way up, or not hood, let me see, what was it? IREN. It's got that IREN candle where it shoots straight up and then just gets smacked right back down. It's like, hang on, you need to calm your ass. You are already extended. And I'm looking at the weekly time frame too. Let's go back to the daily, guys, before I embarrass myself anymore. And you can see right here, that's that weekly candle that we seen. Big push up, smacked right back down. That was earnings, but none other than the 21-day moving average still holding this thing up like a champ. Guys, SoFi is looking absolutely superb right now. Because of earnings, I would just forget these candles. I would just forget all this chop right here, and I would just use this as a simple basing breakout. You could probably find good risk management there. As this thing moves 4.5%, if you were to take it here and use 4.5%, then you would use this low of this day, or if you have the patience, give this thing some time. Let it maybe trade sideways for a couple of days, and then use the 21-day moving average as your stop. As it breaks through this 2250 area, you can use that 21-day moving average as your stop, and it will be within the average daily range percentage. Come on, Chief. Google. Yeah, baby. Oh, is Google up? Let's take a look. Yeah, baby. Google's looking good. Let's take a look at the, let's look. Oh, yeah, baby. I love good news, my G. Keep bringing me the good news. Yeah, no, I just took Google. And there's a reason why, you know, you're right. Hey, and thank you for calling me out. Thank you for calling me out on that. Absolutely. All right, so let's take a look at Google. I thought you were saying Google's up 2%. But no, you're absolutely right. There's a huge reason why I took this slower mover, and that's because my trade on Hood. Now, the reason why I say that is because Hood is actually a very big size in my account. I don't like anything more than 10, but because of the size of my account, I don't mind using over 20. So I wanted to take something else but offset that without using as much capital. So thank you for calling me out on that. Damn you. You're right. You're absolutely right. I took Google. I didn't take GGL. I didn't take any of those 2x leverage. I took Google, but yeah. But I also took a lot of Google, so it's moving. I took 100 shares of Google. All right, so it's a slower mover, but you have to use more capital when you're using these slower movers. So I did tie up more capital in order to play this as a faster mover, right? So 3% on 10% of your equity is not going to move very fast, but you use half of your equity on this, then that 2% is going to move your account much faster. So you got to be careful with that. But yeah, good call out, folks. Good call out. I needed that one. Good call out. So he's still buying the coffee, so I don't care. He's still buying it. Deal with it. What else we got? Is that it? Is that all we got for tonight? It's already after 10. I thought maybe 20 minutes today. I thought 20 minutes, we're gonna be good to go. Let's see what you guys, 62% of you picked Hood. 62%, 15% is between Microsoft and BBAI. I see, somebody picked BBAI over A-Lab. I like it. Hey, Jolene, that's why I love you guys. Honestly, you gotta call me out on my bullshit. If not, who the hell is going to, right? We're gonna end that poll with 62% on Hood and nothing but love right back, guys. Nothing but love, definitely. You know, I almost, like a part of me wants to argue with this, you know, argue with, well, Google for this reason or that reason because of whatever. So let's see. Just checking my peg list, looking for the flags. Come on, Chief, Google. Yeah. Okay, so which stock were we talking about though? Because I almost want to compare them and then tell you, yes, it is the average daily range, and I'm in an average daily range of 2%. So good call out on that one, folks. I'll have to rethink the way I approach your slower movers. But listen, I think my connection's going out like Mark Minner DVD did on that one live show. But anyway, nothing but love, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have an awesome night. I wish everybody a green day tomorrow, and happy birthday to me. Thank you guys for making it awesome. Take care, guys. Peace. Jimmy Bright, thank you. Muley, welcome. Good to see you. Glad you made it, brother. We're not going to be looking at QBTS. You got to show up on time, Muley. You want that good? You want that technical analysis, bro? You got to get here on time. Night Squad. See you, Beef Stewie. Take care. Jolene, have a good one. Yosef, have a good one. Take care, guys. My G, calling me out, making me sweat on the show, but I do appreciate you, brother. It's nothing but love. Mr. Torqued Up, bringing some hot stocks in the building. Absolutely love it. We did not go over AREN, my bad, Beef Stew. But nothing but call outs from you guys. Gregory Greenwich, thank you so much for stopping in, man. I hope I earned your subscription, and I hope we see you on the next Sunday show. Let's see who else we got. Dirk, Durgak, Loke Doc Fell, thank you guys so much. Always a pleasure having you in here. I know that our boy, where is he? I know Michael Anthony was here. Michael, thank you so. Oh yeah, Gary and Charlotte. If you guys are seriously still watching this at 10:16 right now, that I am your favorite son-in-law. So thank you for stopping. Mama, thank you for the birthday cake and the awesome day. Norman Conklin and Carl Burr, if you boys are still with me, thank you guys so much for being members and continuing to be members of this show. And I honestly, I hope you guys have a great night. Thank you guys so much. Nothing but love. Have a good one. Best birthday ever. Love you. Bye.